What the heck is happening, water captains and Mia learned alike? I'm your guide, Q, and welcome back to r/datinghell. I'm really excited to get back into this subreddit because when I initially found it, it was very inactive, and you guys have added like 400 new users onto the subreddit and posted a bunch. Oh no, I just moved my OBS thing and posted a bunch of new stories. So I'm gonna check out some stories, most likely from you guys. I'm really excited that you guys breathed some new life into a subreddit that I think is an awesome idea with a ton of potential for great stories. So let's just get right into the stories. My date was a sweetheart, but her best friend made us both miserable. I hope this story is alright. My date herself wasn't the problem, but the date was still hell. This took place back when I was in high school. I went to an alternative school with less than 150 students, so everyone pretty much knew each other. Because of that, it was pretty easy to tell who was LGBT, so I wasn't really surprised when I was asked out by one of the few other queer people. We hadn't really hung out much before that, and I wasn't fond of her friends, but she'd always been very kind to me, so I said yes. The first part of the date went really well. The girl, let's call her Susie, was wonderful. I'm talking the type of girl who will make someone really happy someday. I enjoyed talking to her, listening to her about her life, and sharing some common interests with her. We hung out at some local coffee shop with a band playing, and at first things were cool, but then it started to get a little weird. The issue, you see, wasn't Susie, but her friend, Ashlyn. She'd invited herself and her girlfriend Emma, forcing us into a double date. She was the type to be loud, obnoxious, and she tried to push others into uncomfortable situations. She was well known around the school for being someone that people didn't particularly like and had an overbearing personality that made it so she had to get her nose into everyone else's business. Her date/girlfriend at the time, Emma, was innocent, and I don't blame her for any of this. So I come back from the bathroom, and all of a sudden, the chair I was sitting in is gone. There's bunches of tables with open chairs, so I'm confused as to why. I don't question it, however, and go grab another chair and pull it over, when Ashlyn calls out to me and tells me I have to sit on Susie's lap. We're both uncomfortable, I can see it on her face, but Ashlyn keeps repeating herself, so I eventually do as she's suggesting and sit down. It wasn't exactly comfortable, but thankfully the band ended soon and we were able to leave. From there, Ashlyn insisted that we all go to her place. I don't recall it too well, but I do very clearly remember that she had a very elaborate playhouse in the back. I'm talking a fancy little sitting area complete with a ladder leading up to a loft above, just large enough for a mattress. When we went inside it, she proudly told us how she and Emma go up there every day after school and sleep together. Yes, she did say that, though she used a different term than sleep together. Emma was so embarrassed. She looked as if she wanted to disappear. Susie and I were both uncomfortable, but Ashlyn didn't get that or didn't care. Ashlyn then proceeded to tell Susie and I that we should go sleep together up there right that moment, and that she and Emma would wait right there. I immediately became about 100 times as uncomfortable for a variety of reasons and didn't know exactly how to respond. Thankfully, Susie, on the same page as me, was having none of that and told Ashlyn we'd rather not without even looking in my direction. Ashlyn seemed legitimately offended and took Emma's hand before practically dragging her up the ladder. I was confused and Susie was silent for what could have been several minutes. Eventually she told me to wait and climbed the ladder up just enough to peer over the top before practically bolting back down and telling me we should go. We had a family member come pick us up and we went to hang out at Susie's for a little while. It wasn't until a few days later that she admitted that Ashlyn had brought Emma up there to sleep with her, with us right there. Susie ended up becoming a good friend for the rest of high school, though I haven't talked to her in almost 10 years. Not long after that, Emma broke up with Ashlyn, and all of their friends decided to stick by her since Ashlyn had been an issue for a long time. Honestly, I just feel really bad for everybody in this situation. Like, nobody is comfortable here except for maybe Ashlyn, and whatever makes her comfortable with putting people in this situation, I feel like something very bad has happened to her, or she just has some natural disposition where she likes to cause chaos and make people uncomfortable, and it's not good either way. She needs some serious help. But I feel so bad for the original poster because they were just thrust into this situation with no knowledge of any of these people. I feel bad for Susie because these are her friends and her date is being freaked out by this whole situation, and obviously bad for Emma because she's dating this unstable seeming person. But luckily this was like 10 to 14 years ago, so hopefully everybody's in a better place right now, including Ashlyn. TLDR, never let an overly wasted date crash on your couch. Just a little bit of a warning when we get to like the latter half of this story, it does involve some pee and poop. I don't want to spoil it, but it does involve some of that. I've got a really bad track record when it comes to dating. I'm doing really well if a dude has all his teeth, has a driver's license, and no major financial issues. Well, I thought I found a winner a few years ago. He had no major legal issues, a stable career, had a driver's license, and had all his teeth. And on top of that, he had a bachelor's degree from my alma mater and was tall and attractive. We hung out a couple of times, some included at my house, hence the trust that occurred on this date. And then we decided to go on an official date. Here goes nothing. Anyways, this is a really long story, but I think all the details just accentuate the ridiculousness of it all. I'll start by saying that I knew he had a beer before coming to pick me up because he had just bought some fancy beer glasses and sent me a pic of them. Cool, a normal thing to do. I'm guessing the beer glasses were filled with beer. He came to pick me up and we went to a local hockey game. There were two minor snafus on the drive there, which I brushed off as a lack of knowledge of the quirks of the roads near my house. Some bad railroad tracks that you have to drive over slowly, which he didn't do. You should always drive slowly over railroad tracks. And a turn that if you turn too sharply, you suddenly fear for your life because there's a huge ditch that you can't see before you make the turn. Anyway, we get to the hockey game, get our tickets for seats way high up in the arena. It was an almost sold out game. Then decide to buy 2 beers each so we don't have to hike back down for refills as often. By the time I finish my first beer, he has already downed both of his other beers and they were not small beers. He offered to get me another and I declined, saying that I'd need to pee once I finished my second beer, so I'd just go down and get more for myself if I wanted it later. He goes down and gets his new beers, and by the time he gets back to our seats, he's slurring his words. I start to get suspicious and ask how many beers he had before picking me up. His response was a slurred "this many" as he held up 6 fingers. He does not drink light beers, for your information. So I immediately decide, alright, no more beers for me because apparently I'm driving home. During the game, a commercial comes on saying, "Don't text and drive." Then another came on saying, "Don't drive drunk." And this guy turns to me and brags, "I text and drive while drunk." Like, bro, come on. The game continues on, and he also brags to me about the fact that he regularly drinks a few beers before going into work. Dude, add to that he probably had a couple more beers and a couple of shots before the game ended. Game ends. A girlfriend of mine left her credit card at one of the bars near the hockey arena, so I'd told her that I'd grab it on our way out of the game. We pop into the bar just long enough for me to sign her bill from the night before and get her credit card, and while my back was turned, he had gotten one of the other bartenders to give him a couple of beers. He proceeds to chug the 2 beers while I'm closing out the tab. We leave the bar. I inform him that he is in no state to drive and that I will not get in the car if he's driving. And I cannot in good conscience let him leave because he's probably going to kill somebody. He can't even stand up straight but is still insisting he is going to drive. I take his keys from him, he's not coherent enough to realize I do so, and try to get him to sit in the passenger seat. We go back and forth for a while between him insisting we're not at his car, me showing him his keys and saying, "Yes, this is your car because it's responding to your keys," and him trying to get the keys back from me. I eventually get him in the passenger seat of the car. Next problem is I don't know exactly what apartment he lives in, and he's too wasted to give me directions. Whatever, he's been to my house before, it couldn't be that bad to let him crash on the couch, right? Wrong. I get him settled on the couch, he passes out sitting up mid-sentence. I put a cup of water next to him and a trash can underneath him, and a blanket on the other side of the couch for him. I go upstairs and go to bed. All is fine and dandy for a couple of hours. I'm a really light sleeper and sleep with my door slightly cracked so that my cat can come and go as she pleases. Well, suddenly I hear running water. I kind of roll over and look out the door to see him, standing in the carpeted hallway, peeing on the wall/floor. I scream, "What are you doing?" He slowly looks up, peeing the whole time, and says, "Huh? Oh," and stumbles 3 more feet into the bathroom. Then he's in the bathroom for a really long time. I decide to get up to see if he's passed out or what, put on my shoes and walk over the piss-soaked carpet and listen at the door. I open it a crack and hear the shower running. Okay, cool, I've been the drunk idiot who has decided they need to shower randomly too. I throw a towel over the piss and go back to bed. A while later, he walks into my room, butt naked, floppy pee and all, and plops down in my bed. I'm just like, okay. At this point, I need to pee, so I get up and go to the bathroom. I almost didn't have enough Sals to cover up all the swears in this section, and there is poop smeared literally everywhere. It's all over the toilet seat, on the wall, on the floor, bits are in the shower, and his poop-covered boxer briefs are on the air vent on my floor. You've got to be kidding me. I freak. If he did all of this upstairs, what did he manage to do downstairs before his drunk butt stumbled up the stairs? I've run downstairs. He peed himself so badly on the couch that it had completely saturated the cushion of the couch and soaked into the base of the couch. I realized there's no way this drunk dude cleaned up all the poop off himself and ran back upstairs. I tell him to get up with many other expletives. He's still drunk and mumbling, "Huh? Why? But you were so cool about everything." I begin yelling, "Get the hell up now!" He eventually gets up, and sure enough, he did not clean all of the poop off of himself before getting into my bed. Just one little spot, but one little spot was all it took for me to go off. I'm screaming, and he's fumbling around trying to gather his stuff as I'm trying to shove him out of the house. As he's trying to leave, I realize he didn't get his boxer briefs. Did you get your poop-covered boxer briefs off my goddamn floor? Did you get your poop-covered boxer briefs off my goddamn floor? Oh, he stumbled upstairs to get them. He offered to send me money, but I just wanted him out of my house at that point. This was 4 a.m., so I was significantly less worried that he would kill someone on his way home. Plus, holy crap, he peed so much that I don't know how there could be anything else in his system. I sent him a text later offering to help him find a therapist to deal with his excessive drinking and let him know how much the rug doctor costs for me to rent to clean up his mess. He left me $100 a week later to go towards the cost of cleanup, but I'm pretty sure the only reason he did was because he left his class ring and watch in my house and wanted them back. Anyway, don't let drunk dudes pass out on your couch, even if they seem to have their lives together, even if they are super hot. At least I got a good story out of it. One, I'm really sorry that happened to you. I can't imagine how much you were scarred, and I'm glad that you seemed to, like, at least from the way that you tell it, you just cleaned it up and got over it quickly. Luckily, he sent you $100. And just for the safety of everybody out there, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but I believe alcohol gets absorbed into your blood, so now no matter how much you pee or puke, like puking might help solve some of the alcohol that you've just consumed, but it's still, a lot of it's going to get into your blood, and you will still be drunk no matter how much you pee or puke. I know, it's pretty gross stuff to talk about, but I just want everybody to be safe out there and not think that just because they've peed a lot, or that they've made themselves throw up, or threw up because they were so drunk, that they are now sober and good to drive or good to do other tasks. Also, I've got a major announcement, and don't worry, this isn't an April Fool's thing. I didn't have time to think of anything for April Fools, but I'm going to be participating in a little CSGO match. I think there are going to be 3 teams for charity. We're all going to do our own individual live streams, and this is going to involve people like Softcore, Dark Dom, Geofilms, Tomato Biscuit, D-Dum Dim, Join In, Blues Dank, King Ani, FaZe Hayes, I think his name is, and Slazo possibly. So it's gonna be freaking awesome no matter what. Oh no, wait, Slazo's not on the screen. I'm sorry, Slazo. But anyway, if you'd like to see that, it's going to be happening this Friday, I believe, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you updated. I am going to be streaming CSGO tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to practice up a little bit, and other people might be involved in that stream. I'm not sure yet. It might be just me playing and practicing doing my thing, but it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be for a good cause this Friday, so feel free to come through. I am going to be doing that live stream on YouTube, so look out for another live stream on YouTube this week as I try to figure out how YouTube live streaming works, because I've only been doing it on Twitch so far. But anyway, skate on to the best of your abilities. Make sure you're drinking more water. I'm gonna be on Twitch tonight, twitch.tv/YourQ. You can find the rest of my social media in the description down below. It's gonna be fantastic. But anyway, have a great day. Drink more water, skate on the best of your abilities, and I will see you very soon. Peace.